Good morning and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Gary Lodeholt. A week or so before Easter, I drove up into the North Carolina to take communion to a member we have in a long-term care facility there. And as I drove, I noticed that the drivers of many of the cars that I passed or that passed me looked at me with an ugly look. It happened over and over, and I couldn't figure it out for a while. I knew I hadn't done any erratic driving or anything that might cause them to be irritated with me. And finally, it dawned on me. At home, we were already experiencing pine pollen season, and my car was covered in that yellow-green sticky pollen that comes every year. In North Carolina, where I was, it hadn't happened yet. So these people in other cars were passing me and reacting to the pollen and dreading that if it was on my car, then not too far into the future, it would be on theirs too. I was the reminder of something they didn't like. I was telling my Bible study class about this not long afterward, and that's when I confessed to them that I like pine pollen season. As they looked at me in shock and confusion, I pointed out, to me, pollen season points out God's insistence on life. After a long, dead, cold winter, our world is blanketed, absolutely covered in the hope of new life and green, living tomorrows. The joys of spring, summer, and fall all begin with yellow-green pollen everywhere. It's exuberant. It's an exuberant hope as life and beauty burst forth once again. This week we are celebrating Easter with hope. We are talking about hope, looking at scriptures, things famous people have said about hope, and hearing stories about hope. Today, our scripture is well known and points out that transition from the winters of life into God's abundant life. Isaiah 40, verse 31 says, "Those who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." Those who wait for the Lord, those who hope in the Lord, will renew their strength. There are new beginnings, fresh opportunities born and carried in that hope, and it is a hope that never fails. Children's author Shel Silverstein wrote, "Listen to the mustn'ts, child. Listen to the don'ts. Listen to the shouldn'ts, the impossibles, the won'ts. Listen to the never haves, then listen close to me. Anything can happen, child. Anything can be." We are not stuck in dead-end days of old. We hope for the new, and in God that newness springs forth. Or put another way, in his book Landscape of the Body, John Guare wrote, "It's amazing how a little tomorrow can make up for a whole lot of yesterday." Hope moves forward into bright new possibilities, no matter how we have been shaped or brought low by troublesome yesterdays. Winston Churchill had planned his funeral, which took place in St. Paul's Cathedral. He included many of the great hymns of the church and used the eloquent Anglican liturgy. At his direction, a bugler positioned high in the dome of St. Paul's intoned after the benediction the sound of taps, the universal signal that says the day is over. But then, in a dramatic turn, as Churchill instructed, after taps was finished, another bugler, placed on the other side of the great dome, played the notes of Reveille. It's time to get up. It's time to get up. It's time to get up in the morning. That was Churchill's testimony that at the end of history, the last note will not be taps. It will be Reveille. Hope lives. The worst things are never the last things. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.